You wanted to talk about Michelin Stars.
Well, I think everybody wants to talk about the Michelin Guide right now. And I feel like there's a couple of things that some people should be pointed out or at least led towards with respect to that. Our good friend Carrie Pfeiffer over at Axios wrote a nice article if you want to get a little bit more in depth on why Virginia is not included in what has recently been released as the American South. What people don't know, I mean, about Top Chef as well, I don't think people understand this, is that tourism plays a really huge part in Michelin, Top Chef, name other places. Sometimes even magazines on how certain cities, or almost all cities, get those recognized, get those accolades.
Right. So I'm just going to hit the pause button for a moment. For folks that maybe not know what we're talking about, the Michelin Guide is a guide that the Michelin Tire Company put out for decades
in Europe
that highlights the best restaurants in a particular region or city or country.
Sure. So they send out what they say is a cadre of critics based on a rubric of stuff, and they give you stars 1, 2, 3 based on what they think are great restaurants.
And these stars can make or break they can make a restaurant.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It does. There are people that travel specifically for Michelin, right? So like someone's like, I'm trying to cover all the Michelin 3 stars in the world. And so that's what they will travel for. And
food tourism.
For sure. And it's big. Food tourism is big.
Some people travel to see fish. Some people travel to see a football team.
Some
These are people that go to
travel for Guy
restaurants.
Fieri's, diners, drive-ins, and dives. But like all of these things like actually help tourism with food.
Right.
Top Chef, Houston paid several million, actually like $1.7 million to have 2 of their chefs in Top Chef Houston. I mean, like that stuff happens.
Right.
So Richmond, specifically the town, was given the opportunity, I believe it's like $360,000 it would have cost us for us to over 3 years. So
it was Richmond and not Virginia?
Oh, Virginia. It was Virginia.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so you're right. So Virginia was given the opportunity to pay $360,000 over a certain amount of years, 3, so $120 a year, to be part of the Michelin Guide, which means they would send out their cadre of critics to see whether or not certain places in the state of Virginia were good enough to have Michelin stars. And except with one exception, because the Inn at Little Washington does have Michelin stars.
Sure.
And they're in the state of Virginia.
Because they're included in the Washington, D.C. region, even though they're a couple hours away?
I believe that's the case. You'd have to ask for like the D.C. cadre of critics to understand why that's the case. Because I don't know they're obviously very good, and I think they should be considered, but I'm not really sure why that's the case.
Okay. So the controversy or lack thereof is what?
So what we need to start off with is it is a payment-based system. We're not going to say it's pay-to-play because they still send out critics.
Right.
But someone exchanges money before Michelin goes anywhere first. We need to get that out there.
Okay.
And second, I don't think that it has anything to do with the quality of our restaurants in Virginia that we don't have the Michelin Guide.
And you're hearing, so Carrie wrote an article in the spring, I believe, and in October or November, the list came out.
Yes, just recently, like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And as you mentioned, no Virginia restaurants except for the Inn at Little Washington is in it because Virginia refused to pay this payment.
We decided it was not a good space for our budget from food tourism, which I don't love.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What do you feel about that decision?
So I think that if we can add recognition to our good restaurants for any reason, and I'm really against pay for play. You know this.
I've seen it once or twice on your Instagram.
Yep, I don't love it. But
at Call Me Robey, by the way.
Yeah, if you want to know where that is, it's over there at Call Me Robey. But I like the idea of having people come try us because then our name, our Richmond, our Fredericksburg, our Virginia Beach name goes further. Mm-hmm. And if the Michelin Guide is the place to do it, and it can be done somewhat objectively by having people come, then I'd like that to happen.
So I don't know if you've done any independent reporting on this or you just know the answer to this question, but Virginia does pay certain things to get our name certain places.
Sure.
Do you know what the difference is between those agreements and this one? Is it just a matter of dollars?
So I read a couple of there's a lot of places that publish the agreements, like, what Top Chef asks for, or what, quote unquote, I don't even know if you can get a FOIA for what Michelin asks for, right? Maybe like in Kentucky where all that information is out there. But
Thank you, Kentucky.
Yes. They it seems like an arbitrary number because like Houston, I believe, paid $90,000 over each year for 3 years for theirs.
That's just for a city. Maybe that's the difference.
Yes,
This
but
is
like
for
I
the
mean,
state.
like I don't like know like
Right,
how
right.
they say that a lot of the money goes to the Michelin critics. So lodging, travel,
Sure.
all of that
Expensive
stuff.
meals.
But like I don't actually know what the background is, and I don't think they release it.
I got 2 or 3 more questions
I
for you
want them
about
all.
this.
Give them to me.
I don't think I've ever dined at a Michelin star restaurant. Have you?
Yes, several.
And when you left those experiences, and you can name them if you like, did you say this is above and beyond anything I've had before in my life?
I think that there's been up and down. Like I drove through Ireland. I'm allowed there, and we went to a 1-star Michelin, which was just positively superb. And then I have been somewhere else, I won't even say, where we went to a 2-star, and it was just a complete letdown.
Because of your expectations, or because like in reality it was just not what it was supposed to be?
Probably is a combination of both, because I don't know really, like the in between 2, 3, I don't really understand the difference really. And so like maybe I just don't know what I should be looking for. And I was just really excited that was what it was. I mean, I've been to the Rooster and the Owl in DC, which is Michelin starred, like stuff like that.
Now, another question just popped in my head, so I'm going to get to my big question in a second. But the smaller question is, you have gone out for various publications or organizations to rate, critique, rank, whatever, review
All of
a
it.
restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
When you know there's money being exchanged between whoever is paying you and the restaurant, does that mess with your brain a little bit?
So I've never ever been, I've never worked for a space that has done that.
Okay, so
anybody that reaches out to me, a large magazine, which I have declined large national magazines to ask me to write lists because they will provide 7 or 8 of the restaurants and then ask me to run SEO words, and then I can have the other 5.
Okay.
So I know people that do that. Yeah.
It's pretty common practice.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
sure.
And I'm not above people that do that. I want
Right.
to make sure that's make money.
If Michelin came to Richmond, in your opinion, are there restaurants, Richmond, Hanover, Henrico, Chesterfield, Goochland, whatever, Powhatan, New Kent, that would
Absolutely.
be highlighted by these critics, in your opinion?
Absolutely.
Do you care to share some names that pop into your brain?
I mean, I think we have innumerable amounts of restaurants that could be considered for the Bib Gourmand, which is not a star. It's the level that is great value, good food, all of those things, which is wonderful. I think we have several restaurants that could fit into the 1-star.
Because in my brain, I'm thinking of like in the Bear, when they go to that restaurant, Alinea, is that what it's called?
Yep.
And so it's really expensive food, very small portions, like very...
in your head, that's what a Michelin 3-star is,
in my
right?
head,
Yep.
so that's a 3-star.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, that's what you see is like
One
tiny tweezers
bites
food. Yep. Yeah,
for $400.
And I don't know as we have that in Richmond, which, frankly, yay, because I mean it's a once in a lifetime experience.
Sure.
And I love Richmond because a lot of our restaurants are more than once in a lifetime, and I think that makes us so accessible. But yeah, I definitely think we have starred restaurants here.
Maybe after the podcast drops, you'll put a list on your Instagram, because
A list of who would get starred.
You're not naming any right now, but
Well,
I respect that, because you're going to leave someone off and then you'll hear from that.
Yeah,
I
and then they'll
understand.
yell at me, and and I can't even think of all the restaurants in all those areas, but I will say we have them. And if the Michelin Guide wasn't so interested in taking money, I believe they could come see and snack on our delicious food. What do you think?
Is there anything else you want to cover on the Michelin star front?
No, I think we've exhausted that
Okay.
course.
That turnip is dry.